Welcome to our first Excel tutorial video. This video is really designed to just get a sense of how Excel is structured, how the cells work, rows, columns, file types, that sort of stuff. If you've worked in Excel before, you probably know a lot of this stuff. You may be able to just skip forward. All right, so let's start with the basics. I'm going to open up a file. I'm obviously working on a Mac, and it's worth noting that the software looks a little different in a Mac versus a PC versus Office 365. Most of the functionalities are going to be there on all those different platforms. They're just maybe in a slightly different spot. So if you can't find something that we're talking about easily, you can always Google it and probably find it pretty quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and create a file, open it up. Excel, like everything else, has the standard pull-down menus: File, Edit, View, Insert, that sort of stuff. First thing I'm going to do is actually just save this file. So I'm going to save this just as test data. And the options I want to show you are that this is an Excel workbook. That's your standard Excel SX format, but you have an older version of Excel format, and you have a number of text formats, comma delimited being the most common, but all the way down here, there are many other text formats that you can use, and that actually becomes very important at certain points. Right now, I'm just going to save it as it is, and we'll move forward. The second set of menus that's important to know about in Excel are these ones, so Home, Insert, Draw, and so on. These are great because this is where a lot of the power in Excel is. Sort and filter you see over here. Really great feature. We'll go through that one later. Insert, maybe I want to put in a figure, lots of different options. We'll go through that actually in the next video. For now, just get aware of what is in these different pull down menus, because that's where a lot of the things you might do are going to be found. All right, two other features of Excel you just need to be aware of. One is that you have worksheets. I can add more of these. I can rename these. So maybe this is my data. Second sheet might be my calculations. So I can do whatever I want to help organize myself into these files, and that's also a really helpful feature. All right, so the biggest part of Excel to understand, and the thing that you'll just come back to again and again, is that you have columns, A, B, C, D, E, all the way out as far as you can imagine, and rows, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and so on, all the way down as far as you can imagine, up to 80,000 or so. These are really useful because they tell you what cell you're in. So I just clicked here on a cell, that's cell A1. If I move to the right, B1, C1, D1. If I move vertically, D2, D3, D4. This becomes really important because if I want to, say, do a calculation on a cell or update a cell, I now have a reference point. So I want to say multiply this cell D4 by another cell, F6. I can say D4 times F6. I get a number, and I can change even the inputs in these cells, and it'll automatically update. These are all things we'll go through, but for now, just start getting aware of and familiar with this sort of structure. All right, so let's just look a little bit at data. I'm going to type in a few things. You can type in just like anywhere else. Type in my name, Jason, my age, 49, and I'll put in the date. It is July 19th, 2020. So what I just did is put in 3 different types of data into this spreadsheet. My name, Jason, is made up of letters. It's a string of letters. My age, 49, is obviously a number. And the date is a date. So what's interesting about Excel, and actually just important to be aware of, go back to the home menu here, is that you have a lot of control over the type of information that's present. So under here, under home, it's also present up here. Under format and cells, I can set the type of information I'm looking at. So for example, maybe my number has to have 2 decimal places. I can set that and it'll change right here. Going back to this other menu, maybe I'm talking about money because I want to do accounting and I've got $49. Or I could make it a percentage, 4,900%. So in any case, it is important that in certain circumstances that you designate the right type of data. You can always start with general. That's the one up here. And see if you have problems. And if you do have problems, then you can go in and see if the formatting helps. Okay, one last thing to show you. So you can copy and paste. I'm just doing a shortcut here, but you can also use the pull-down menus, paste, copy and paste. So that's handy. But there's another feature in Excel that is pretty handy. So let's get rid of the one I just did. Let's say I had highlighted this and maybe even put it in red to make it stand out. This is a handy thing actually if you're working in a really large spreadsheet. I want to copy this information and I'm going to paste it somewhere. I might not want to copy everything, so let's look at Paste Special here. So this set of information now has my name, age, and a date. It also has a yellow shading and the lettering is in red. Maybe I don't want all that stuff. Maybe I just want the values that are there. I can choose that. And it'll paste having lost all the formatting. That's really handy sometimes. There's another case where you actually want to take this information, say that's vertical or horizontally laid out, and make it vertically laid out. So instead of A6, B6, and C6, maybe I want E4, E5, and E6. So I can go up here to where I want it to start. I can say Paste Special, and I can say Transpose. And this will take what is horizontal and make it vertical, or take what's vertical and make it horizontal. Pretty handy if you're trying to shift around your data into ways that you can manipulate it more easily, maybe to make a graph. All right, so that's a super fast introduction to Excel. If you haven't used Excel before, what I would recommend is just open up a file, enter some data, change the formatting, see if you can move stuff around, play with some of these basic functions. Make sure you can save the file, maybe make a second worksheet. Just get familiar with the package and how it works, and that'll get you in good shape for our next video, which is going to be about making graphs.